After signing up, the first screen you see is the Let's Get Started screen. To start accepting orders, you need to become a seller on the Way2Order platform. Click Start Seller Setup to continue. Create your seller profile by entering in some basic information. The email address field is very important and requires verification. Information regarding new buyer requests and new orders will be received as an email on this address. Select attributes as per your product range. Code, name, and category are required attributes. The remaining attributes can be selected or unselected at any time by going to Product Attributes in the Settings section. We have attributes to cater to the requirements of varied industries. I'll quickly select the attributes that are applicable to my products. For data import purposes, up to 3 categories are supported, but one product can be in multiple categories, even more than 3. I'll select category 1, SKU, size, ordering unit, minimum order quantity multiples, packing, HSN code, product ID. If your products are stored in different warehouses, you should select the warehouse attribute. By adding data for warehouses, the itemized quantity report for orders received will also display the warehouse where a particular product size is stored. This really speeds up the process of fulfilling orders. Let's select warehouse. Since ordering is all about quantity, you can use Way2Order without defining prices for your products. Please note that there is no checkout process and payment gateway integration with Way2Order. You can, however, define multiple prices for every product if, say, you have area specific or price lists in multiple currencies. I have 2 different price lists, so I'll select price 1 and price 2. Don't worry, we'll rename these in the next step. An important note here, if you do not find an attribute applicable to your product, you can rename any unused attribute. Just keep one thing in mind, whether the attribute you want is applicable to the product as a whole, or is it applicable to every variation of that product. Let's take an example. Say I have an attribute called weight, which is applicable to every variation of my product. Then I should select any available attribute which applies to every variation. The attributes applicable to every variation are marked here, the ones with a check mark. And if I have an attribute like finish, which applies to my product as a whole, then I should select any available attribute that is not applicable to all variations, like short description here, and rename it to finish. These last set of attributes are for adding detailed information about your products, like bulleted feature list, 2-column specifications table, external links, badges for hot selling, sale, new. Up to 10 photos can be added per product. Way2Order is not linked with any inventory system, but you can use the stock status attribute to display the status of your stock. Please note that the status will have to be changed manually. Data for majority of these attributes can be imported by simply uploading an Excel file. Let's continue. The attributes we selected in the previous step are listed here. You can assign a custom name to these attributes. Example code can be article code, price 1 can be MRP or list price, and so on. Also note the maximum characters and cell format for each attribute. These attributes can also be reordered by dragging the column alphabet badge. If you already have your price list in Excel format, you can reorder these attributes to match it with the columns in your Excel price list. Or you can simply download the blank Excel template and add your products. I'll reorder these quickly as per my Excel price list. Now let's download the Excel template. An email was sent to the email address you entered in your seller profile with the verification code. Let's check that email. Enter the code and click verify. Okay, now if I open the downloaded Excel template, You'll see the column headers for all the selected attributes. This template includes only the attributes for which the data can be imported to Way2Order using an Excel file. You will have to fill in this Excel file and then upload it back to Way2Order. Please make sure that you do not reorder or rearrange the columns in this downloaded Excel template file. You can log out now, and the next time you log in, you will come back to the same screen automatically. We also have a separate video on how to prepare your Excel data for import. You can even import your Excel data later, or if you choose, you can also add products manually one by one. For that, you will have to skip data import process and complete the setup. But I have already prepared the data, so we'll import that now. I'll browse the file with errors first. Way2Order displays the Excel data for your review. We have 3 errors which are highlighted in red. Let's see what they are. Warehouse, price to and article code fields cannot be blank. These errors are in our Excel row number 3, 8 and 13. Let's cancel this import and make corrections to the Excel file. Now I'll browse the correct file. We do not have any errors now. A maximum of 1000 rows of data can be imported in one go. The unique values in code, category and warehouse column are red and are displayed on the left. We can see that we have these codes, 16 categories and 2 warehouses. Let's quickly review the column data before we import it. Everything looks good, so let's continue. Okay, now our Excel data has been saved. The unique values in category and category 1 columns are displaying in front of us. We can create a navigation structure right now, or we can do this later in the categories section. Nesting categories are used for grouping and navigational purposes. Let's create 2 nesting categories to group all these categories by material and by type. I'll create the first nesting category. And another one for type. Now let's drag and drop the first one to the top. And then nest all the applicable categories under this group. Press and hold the left mouse button and then drag to indent the category, and finally release the mouse button when the category is in position. Repeat the same process for the second nesting category. Now I'll indent all the applicable categories under this. The order in which these subcategories appear can also be changed by simply dragging and dropping them. Okay, our category navigation structure looks good. We currently have only one nesting level, but the maximum nesting depth level supported by Way2Order is 10. We'll talk about this in detail in a separate video on categories. Click Finish. That's it. Your seller setup is now complete, and your unique 8-digit Way2Order app code is generated. This app code identifies you as a seller on the Way2Order platform and is the connecting link between you and your wholesale customers. Share this app code with your customers and invite them to place orders to you on the Way2Order platform. To change any attribute, you can now go to the settings section. Let's change the price attribute and give it a currency prefix. Update this attribute. We'll also activate the photos and badges attributes, and finally save all this. Let's go to the product section and we can see our Excel imported data. You will have to manually insert photos for every product. Let's upload a few photos using the bulk uploader, which can upload up to 10 photos in one go. We are now ready to share our app code with our buyers. Let's go to the share section. Sharing your Way2Order app code with your B2B customers is more convenient from the mobile app. Let's check that out. That is how the seller dashboard looks like on the phone. We'll go to share app code. Click share app code. We can share this as a WhatsApp message or as an iMessage.